If this is your first time hearing about the Shenandoah, explore the earlier episodes in Civil War Mysteries, where each forgotten corner of the war comes to light again. Every week, we uncover another untold chapter, one that reminds us how far the Civil War's reach truly went. The last shot of the Civil War wasn't fired at Appomattox. It was fired across frozen seas by men who didn't yet know their war was already history. And maybe that's how wars really end, not with surrender, but with realization. History often closes its chapters with silence, not applause. The story of the Shenandoah drifted into obscurity, forgotten even by many who had lived through the war. Yet, for the men aboard her, the realization lingered for the rest of their lives. They had fought on after peace, fired their cannons into history's void, and returned to a world that no longer recognized the cause they had served. Captain James Waddell lived out his years quietly in Maryland, far from the seas that once carried his ghost ship. He never commanded again. Some of his crew went home in secret, others vanished across the ports of the Atlantic. None were tried, none were honored. They had simply faded into the gray space between defeat and forgiveness. The Shenandoah herself was sold and renamed. Her decks were scrubbed, her flag replaced, and her past erased. But some stories cannot be washed away. Somewhere in the rolling cold of the northern seas, a trace of her still seems to echo, a memory of a war that refused to end. The last shot of the Civil War was not fired by vengeance or glory. It was fired by men cut off from truth, bound by loyalty, and lost in the wide silence of the Pacific. Their story reminds us that war does not stop with treaties or signatures. It stops when people finally understand that it is over.